All right, thank you for staying with us. Speaking about sport, and it's beyond hobby. If you know, you know. As we say it in Nigeria, it's just beyond exercise. It's a real business, big one, and of course, achieve among the sports, especially in Nigeria here. We make do a lot, and we really support football. Some call it soccer as well. But then the state of our football, talking about the men's national team, the past few months, few years have not really been what it should be. Since 2019, the Super Eagles won the African Cup of Nations. So we have really been war playing, in our performance. A couple of appearances at other Nations Cup, best, we've won bronze. Now to qualify for the next Nations Cup and maybe World Cup, it's quite of a task right now. The dismal performance at the last competition. But now, fast forward, there is a new sheriff in town, and of course, he's Bruno Labbadia. In the wee hours or the early hours of Tuesday, we learned there is another person, and his leadership is what Nigerians are talking about. What does he bring? Bruno Labbadia. Who is he? Maybe he's one of those known names around here, But what do I know? But I have somebody that knows very well about this particular business. He's the chief football writer for ACL Sport, and of course, a national Nigerian national team or Nigerian national football expert, Fisayo Dairo. He joins us virtually from Port Harcourt today. Good morning.
Good morning, Femi, and good morning, Oshose.
Yeah.
Of course, everyone watching.
Thank you very much. There is another sheriff in town. That's the way I like to refer to the man, Bruno Labbadia. Many Nigerians are just Googling his name, just getting to read about him. It's not one of those first 10 names or first 20 names that you want to talk about when it comes to national team coaches, here. But the man has been announced by the NFF. He is the one that will take the reins or that has taken the reins. What do you know? Because you are the expert here, Fisayo, about Bruno Labbadia. What does he bring?
Yeah, quite interestingly, I got a couple of responses yesterday as well from a couple of Nigerians telling me that who actually is this man? Why is it that anytime we get coaches, we don't get to know him? We have to Google him and to know much about him. But truth of the matter is, of course, Bruno Labbadia, for those that follow the German Bundesliga, he has been a prominent manager in the league. He's a German, of course. He was a prominent striker in his days, although he had just took out to the German national team. But he's been very popular in the German Bundesliga. He was still in charge of BFB Stuttgart last year, as recent as last year. And I can say confidently that the foreign coaches that we've had in Nigeria in years past, I think Labbadia can serve as one of the most high-profile ones because, yes, we didn't know about him because this is the first time he's even coaching outside of Germany. But yes, in terms of his technical know-how, of course, for him to be able to manage the Bundesliga, he's one of the top 5 leagues in Europe. So it means he's actually up there among the top coaches in that country. And if you're up there in Germany, you should be up there to coach countries like Nigeria and Africa at large.
With what we know so far, very well, it might have had maybe an impressive one in the Bundesliga. But as far as national team management is concerned, there is little or no information about him. And considering the nature of the Nigerian football, the nature of the Nigerian senior team, the nature of the fans and the expectation, you know what I'm talking about. Now, bringing this man with almost zero international management at this level, is that what we need?
Well, it's a very major snag in his appointment because apart from the fact that a lot of Nigerians do not know about him, like you said, even generally in football, national team football is different from club football because club football, you get to work with the players day in, day out. You get to control what they do on every passing day. But in national team games, most times you even get to train with the players only 4 times before a crucial game. Yes, we're fortunate enough. Our next game is on Saturday, 7th. So training can be done for 5 days or 6. But it's not it's not an easy thing when you are transiting from club football to national football. Now, like we talked about the Nigerian factor, Nigeria is not a vintage work environment. I've seen it firsthand in national team. I was bantering with somebody on social media yesterday, that by the time he arrives and he sees that there is no GPS best for players to monitor players' activities in training, he will start to reason what sort of choice he has made for his career, because these are some of the things managers, especially in Africa, have to endure. You just have to cope with whatever little equipment or whatever things that are there for you to work with. And these are some of the things we hope that Liberia knows, because it's not like Europe. Even an average national team in Europe have almost exactly the same facilities that they have at club level. It's not the same in Africa. It's not the same in Nigeria. So it's one of the things that are giving Nigerian football fans the gray hairs as to, does this man really know what he's going to be up to? Because like I said, it's even the first time he's coaching out of Germany. And it's the first time he's managing a national team, and it is the Nigerian national team. So the expectations we set for our coaches in Nigeria is almost equal as the kind of expectation they set for coaches at Barcelona and Real Madrid. Whereas the facilities we give coaches and the equipment and the working environment we give coaches in Nigeria can only rival what they give to Crawley Town in 3rd division in England. So if you juxtapose the two together, it doesn't align. And that's why we hope that Liberia will not find it more difficult than you can ever imagine.
All right, sir. 19 foreign coaches has coached Nigeria from 1949 till date. And yes, we have our very own Finidi George that just, with the former boss, who just was with the Super Eagles for just 2 months. My question is that why do we keep having foreign coaches? Does that mean that Nigerian players or Nigerian football icons are not competent enough to lead the Super Eagles team?
Well, I think it's in the inferiority complex of the scale, I must say. That's why for once, I'm happy they're going for their foreigner, because the support, although the support is still not in the level of what they get in Europe, but the support the Nigerian Football Federation will give a white man will be, let me say, up to times 10 of what they will give in Nigeria.
Why is that?
I'm not kidding about this. Yes, that's why I said maybe it's in the inferiority complex of the scale. Because, for instance, I knew to an extent some of the things that happened during Finidi's short but tumultuous era. They wouldn't do it with a foreigner. They wouldn't do it with a white man. And it's not the first time. Remember in the days of Shaibu Amodu, the kind of things he gets, Christian Chukwu, the kind of things they do to them. They don't do it even if they bring somebody from a less known person from Holland or from, like Jose Pesero, who was he when he came, So that's why I think, it's just in the inferiority complex, because if you do the right things, the kind of support, the kind of equipment, the kind of authority we give to them. Now, I was discussing with someone last night when the squad list was released. I told the person, this squad list enough. Any coach can work with it and win games. But when a Nigerian is in charge, the NFL will debate and debate, will fight and fight, right from the days of Stephen Kesh, who even didn't tolerate nonsense. They will say, no, these players must go, these players must play, this player must be at the World Cup. And if you say no, he will not be there, he will not be there. They will not say, okay, this one will go, this one, and they don't try that with a foreigner. So it just will be, like they say in local parlance, see finish. Just your own, please, you have to understand how to do this well, because a lot of times when a foreigner comes, he tells them, I will walk away, and they wouldn't want the embarrassment of a coach leaving them in the cold at a very odd time. Look at how Finidi came and he just resigned. They won't allow a foreigner go that way. So it's just who we are as a country. We don't respect ourselves much enough as much as we do the expatriates.
And that's quite not good enough, especially for us as a nation. Over 200 million people, a footballing nation. I think it's okay to pride ourselves as a footballing nation because of the abundance of talent that we have. Now, before we move to the task ahead now, that Liberia has to grapple with, qualifiers coming up, we will get to that. Now, Fisayo, for the benefit of hindsight, and now I speak to you as an insider, how did the cookie crumble under Finidi? His appointment came with some, frownings, some persons thinking maybe naturally it should have been Emmanuel Aminike, considering his international experience. It took Tanzania, from the oblivion to limelight. And at the end of the day, it was Finidi that emerged, but it was tumultuous for him that the man had to walk away. You knew him with his days in Imba. He's somebody you have close relationship with, I guess. How did that cookie crumble? Because it was quite embarrassing.
Well, I've actually seen it recovered from Finidi's exit from the Supreme League because I knew that him being in charge would correct a lot of things with our national teams. Why? Because Finidi is one of the few Nigerian coaches that are not corrupt. Even the foreign coaches that they bring, this man has just come afresh and he's just been introduced to national team football. I don't have anything on him. But even the person was hugely corrupt. I knew what you have to do to play for the Super Eagles. I knew how much people pay to play for the Super Eagles.
These are categorical statements.
Under Gelot and under previous local coaches. But from his work at Imba, like you said, I was so close to the club, to the players, till date. I knew that this was an uncorrupt human because Finidi is a very rich person till now. So when he came on board, there were some players that were invited in those 2 friendly games. Like one of them was close to me. And I knew how these guys did not pay a dime to enter the team. Because this is a man that's not interested in corruption. And now, that's why, like I was still telling someone last night, it was a big chance missed. Now, a lot of people always say that, why are the players not in the team, blah, blah, blah. You wouldn't believe it's part of the corruption we're talking about. But remember when Finidi came on board, there were like 4 local players that were in the team. Why? Because local players don't have the money for foreign-based players. They don't have the money to pay. These local players, none of them can earn 1 million naira in a month. And these foreign players earn at least 1 million naira in an hour. But I think by and large, let me cut the long story short. With Finidi, he failed because he did not really know what he was getting into. And that thing happens oftentimes in Europe. Let me start with David Moyes. When he took the Manchester United job, they gave him a 5-year contract. He felt he had all the time in this world. So he was doing things, but under a year, he was sacked. Look at Graham Potter. When he joined Chelsea, he was given maybe 5 years contract as well. 5-year contract as well. He joined in September and he was sacked before the season because why? These coaches thought they had all the time. They thought, even if Nigerians didn't believe in him, Aminike for me, it doesn't, I've worked close with him, they are close in his circle and stuff. He's not what Nigerians make him to be, fine, but that's a story for another day. But Finidi did not know what he was getting into. He tried to exert authorities, and of course, they've used him, just like what's happening at Chelsea. They've already used Maresca to get rid of all the top players. So they've used Finidi to get rid of some of the players that should not be in the team, likes of Umar Sadiq, the won't surface again, likes of Joe Aribo and stuff. But you need results to complement that and to stay. Football is a game of results. So, but Finidi did not really know what he was getting into, and then his squad list for the games did not reflect something that was going to win matches. Like I've said about this particular squad list released, I will be disappointed if Liberia doesn't get at least 4 points from the 2 matches we are playing, because The squad is balanced, full of quality players, and it selects itself. That was the luxury that Finidi did not have, playing two crucial games against South Africa and Benin in June.
Right, very well. You know, if not because of time, because we have to move to these matches that you talked about, I would have asked you the tantrums from Osimhen. Did they really play a part in that sack? Or did he really, you know, but that maybe for another day, you know, but to speak about the matches ahead now, and as it talked before, Mr. Labadia, Nigeria versus Benin Republic, 7th of September 2024, Rwanda versus Nigeria, 10th of September 2024, and the players that have been invited, Stanley Nwabali, Maduka Okoye, Amos Omorege, William Ekong as defenders, Semi Ajayi, Calvin Bassi, Olisanda, Olaina, Bright Osai Samuel, Bruno Yemachi for the midfielders. We have Alex Iwobi, Frank Oyeka, Alhassan Yusuf, Wilfred Ndidi, Fisayo Dairo Bashiru, Raphael Onyedika for the forwards, Ademola Lukman, Samuel Chukwueze, Victor Osime, Musa Simon, Kelechi Iheanacho, Taiwo Awuniyi, and Victor Boniface. Somebody will have said, where's Ahmed Musa? But, you know, that's just on a lighter note, by the way. But this, according to you, is a decent squad. And now we have to play Benin Republic and Rwanda in the coming days. You see this team really flying, don't you?
Yeah, I do. You know, because everything seems to be working well, especially as they have a foreigner in charge. Although also Iguavon will have taken charge and won't have any problem about it. Because Iguavon is also one of the few coaches. In fact, he made this selection. Iguavon selected the players invited for this, and it just shows how cerebral he is. Now, for this, why I believe it will fly is that, for instance, they have one big advantage. Like I mentioned earlier, we are playing on Saturday, and the camp opens on Sunday, which means you have at least 5 days to work with the players. Most times, you don't have up to this window. Games are always played Thursday or Friday. So when players are just arriving on Monday, it's one of the problems that affected Finidi. Finidi had a game on Friday, and his top stars that were going to start the game, they have not arrived by Tuesday evening. You know, and these are people who were working with him for the first time. So, but here, everything has worked perfectly for the team. And like I said, the team is balanced. We have 4 center backs in that list. We have 3 full backs. Perfect. In the midfield, we have like 6 midfielders. Fantastic. In the attack, we have like 2, 3 center forwards. We have wingers. The team is simply good to go. And any coach in Nigeria that knows his onions, as far as the players arrive Sunday and Monday, because the camp will open on Sunday first, Sunday and Monday, Benin especially, they were not special. Even in the game we lost against them in June in Côte d'Ivoire, we dominated the first half, and then the senior boys switched off, and then they considered for first position, and that was it. So I believe this team will definitely put Benin to solve on Saturday, and then they should be able to get something away from home against Rwanda.
All right. You know, before my colleague will come in now, something just popped up now on my mind. I was just thinking, you know, when you hang around football enthusiasts, you watch our viewing centers, you throw bands online, and there's this thing that's always been coming up. What's our football identity as a nation? Does it depend on the coach? Because, you know, Brazilians, irrespective of whoever they are bringing, irrespective of the formations, you know, they play a kind of flair football. They express, they show off, they do whatever they do, the expressive kind of football. In England, you know, the kind of, some will even call it kick and follow, in my colloquial English, by the way, tiki-taka for the Spanish. What exactly is the football identity for Nigeria? Or is always dependent on the coach? Fisayo.
Sadly, we no longer have any identity. We used to have during our golden eras of 90s and early 2000s. But now, we no longer have an identity. Why? Because a lot of Nigerians have been exposed to European football now. So they don't precisely know what they want. A lot of them want to play like Barcelona. A lot want a team like Pep Guardiola's Man City. And look at our team. We now have, over the last 5-6 years, an influx of players born in Europe, exposed right from their childhood to different footballing ideologies. Previously, in the 90s, our football identity is the 4-4-2, play with flair. We want a midfielder that will dribble, that will pass. We want two wingers that will not be shy of taking on defenders, putting in the crosses and scoring for themselves. But what has changed in Europe, and we have now tailored our football to European football. So it will come down to what the coach comes, and that's what the coach wants. For instance, Bruno Labbadia is coming. He's not particularly a coach that plays flair football. He's a coach that builds his team on discipline, tactical organization, pack the balls, and then attack. That was not what Nigerian football is all about. That is not what the abilities of our players born in Nigeria are with. And the players born in Nigeria want the ball. They want to express themselves on the ball. But like you could see with the Super Falcons, when the coach from the United States, he has molded the team into pack the box team. They just sit back and then try to attack. And if you keep sitting there, you concede the goal, you'll not be able to react. So we have lost our identity as a nation. We have lost everything we have in our football. So it's whatever the coaches bring. And then Nigerians want results. Nigerians want to qualify for tournaments by all means. So that has also played a part in the desperation of the football house. And they don't care what the local coaches can bring in terms of what are, because a local coach will, for instance, like look at South Africa, no team he has managed will play in a way Nigerians identify with. Any team from the other 20 to the other 23, they will always play the way he used to play with the Super Eagles in the 90s, 80s, and stuff. So, but we've lost the identity to the influx here of Europe, and of course, with the continuous bringing in of foreign coaches in Germany, in Portugal, with different philosophies. You have to embrace whatever they give to you.
Right.
All right, so let's talk about federal government and the NFF. And regarding this upcoming marches they're having, September 7 with Benin Republic, how has the federal government been supportive to these teams? How are they encouraging? How are they encouraging them to do better? Because you know they are representing in Nigeria, not just the Super Eagles team. As a player, you're also representing the country. So how supportive is the federal government towards their upcoming marches?
Well, you know, the first way you know support is the thing that just happened yesterday. We have a game on the 7th of September, and we only know who will coach the team on the 27th of August. It is not done anywhere in the world. It is the same thing that happened with Finidi George. He got the reins barely 1 month before his first competitive games. So, if not that the technical director, was already speaking with the players, was already called the players, we are going to invite you for this game, we are going to invite you for this game. But in the case of Finidi, nobody was even telling the players, and nobody was calling. The whole place, there was a vacuum. So, unfortunately, the people in charge of our football and our sports ministry, they don't know what they are doing. For instance, the sports minister has nothing to do with sports. So he doesn't even know what he's doing. He just comes up and some of his aides just tell him something and, you know, with sinister motive. So the support is not there at the moment. The support is non-existent. But when the team resumes campaign on the 1st of September, that's on Sunday, let's see what they have for them. Let's see if the equipment that the team need are brought for them. GPS vest, I was shocked in the last camp, you know, in in June, the Finidi games, there were no GPS vest trackers for the players. Something football clubs in Nigeria have. How do you monitor the performances of the players in training? You know, there are no video facilities for the video analyst to work with. He had to rely on his laptop. So these are some of the things that are obtainable with our local coaches that they don't give them. So let's see if these things will be there for the foreigner, because that support starts on the 1st. Who is a stone throw from here? I will be there for like 3 days before the game. I'll see from the training myself and see what support, because that's where the support comes. We know that they are always old, the coaches, the players, They are still owed a lot of money up to now. So that part of support is also non-existent. And then if anything happens, we start to blame the players, start to blame the coaches for not. So the NFL, the sport ministry, they never do their side. They never keep to their side of the bargain. But they still expect these players play, on empty stomach. Practically, yes, we are fortunate they are rich themselves. So it's not even the $5,000 you give them as bad bonus that they need anyway. But you need to show that we have done our part. It's left for you to do yours, but they never do that part.
All right. One of the things I picked from what you just said is that NFF president, am I right? NFF president,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, is not even a sport person, is not sport oriented, and now is heading this big team. Do you feel this is politically motivated?
It has always been. It has always been. Who becomes the NFL president has always been politically motivated. Unfortunately, someone like this current president has been in the NFL for like 16 years or thereabouts, because it's the whole thing is just like Nigeria in itself. You know that I know that you guys will have said a lot about Nigeria on your show, about our constitution and stuff. The same thing with the NFL. The constitution is a corrupt constitution. It's they have done it in a way that a lot of people have always said that why don't former football players come into it, and the constitution has been constructed in a way that it repels knowledgeable people to come in. You can only come in through politics. You can only be part of the NFL if you are a state FA chairman. Like this current coach, this current NFL president, he entered into the NFL as being the Zamfara FA chairman. What kind of football are they playing in Zamfara State? And now they don't even have a team in the NPFL, they don't have a team in the NNL, and then their state FA chairman is heading our football. So it's what it is. It's always politically motivated, and when it comes to the election itself, the Northerners always have the numbers, because only the FA. Okay, we have 44 people that can vote. Let's say 44 people, and out of 44, 36 state FA chairmen. And out of 36 FA chairmen, like 20 are in and around, not more. So they just vote in bulk and get one or two, and whoever they support wins. And when they have one of their own coming in, you win. So, pay no attention to the NFF presidency. It's one of the joke that Nigeria is. And a lot of Nigerians have always called. Now, during the last election, there were severe calls for revamping of the constitution, doing it again. Bet all those calls have died down. They will only come up again during the election year, and they will not say, no, let's have the election, let's have it. But this is now that people should be agitating for the NFF constitution to be repealed, and to have the right thing that will bring cerebral people that have improved knowledge of the sport, especially those that have played the game in the past as well, that can offer good technical know-how. But it's Nigeria. It is Nigeria.
I think that says volume for you to say it's Nigeria. Interesting one. Some will say is Mr. Gusau's time right now. Ahmadu had his time as well. I think a two-time president. But quickly, as we round off, we're quite in a fix, and I mean the Super Eagles, the World Cup qualifications. We've played 4 matches, we're having 3 points, and Nigerians are like, as they say, maybe it's gone. Do you see the Eagles wriggling out his way out of this mess in which that group stage, in which we are right now, in that particular group that has Rwanda, South Africa, Benin, Lesotho, Nigeria, and Zimbabwe, and interestingly, Rwanda is leading the pack.
Yeah. I think it's possible, and I'm thinking maybe the stars want to align in our favor, because
Fisayo, I'm sure you are not speaking to permutation right now.
Pardon?
I'm sure you are not speaking to permutation that we are used to.
At the end of the day, it will come down to that. But even before that, why I believe maybe the stars align in our favor? How come when the draws for the Nations Cup qualifiers were made last month, how come we had the same 2 teams that are giving us power in our World Cup group, in our AFCON group? Benin and Rwanda. Now, That's why for this coach, it's very good for him that we are not playing World Cup qualifiers until March next year.
Yeah.
And not only that, we are not playing World Cup qualifiers until we have completed AFCON qualifiers this year. And how do we complete the AFCON qualifiers? It means that we will have played Benin twice, we will have played Rwanda twice, and we are playing Rwanda in March in the World Cup qualifiers. So, with the quality we have individually, if you are sound with yourself as a coach, you are already used to these teams. And the AFCON qualifiers are less cumbersome. They are less mentally, they are less draining mentally.
Right.
Why? Because 2 teams will qualify from the group of 4. But the World Cup, only 1 team will qualify from a group of 5 or 6.
Right.
So we can easily qualify from the AFCON group, and that will be the preparations that we need before the World Cup qualifiers resume in February. So, or in March. So when it resumes, you just have to start winning your games.
All right.
We don't want any game out of 4, but we play Rwanda next. That Rwanda will have played them 2 times. Once on the 10th of Tuesday, September.
Right.
And then the other one in November. So it's possible. Nigeria has been in this kind of situation before.
Yeah.
In 2002, we've always loved difficult processes. So I will not say it's over because Nigeria loves difficult things, really. So but the key point for me is that for this coach, he's playing the AFCON qualifiers first, and he's playing against teams that he will still face in the World Cup qualifiers. So it helps to familiarize with your opponents. It helps to get used to what your team can do and what they cannot do. And then when the big one comes in the World Cup qualifiers, you just try to hit it.
All right. Thank you very much, Nigeria football expert, the chief football writer at ACS Sport, Fisayo Dairo. Thank you for your interesting take on the program today. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, to have a good day. And that is where we put the brakes on Morning Spring for today. Tomilola, we have been told maybe all hope is not lost about the qualification. We are used to that permutation of let this team beat this team. We will go there and get 3 points, and then the other team will beat another one, and then we'll qualify. Maybe we might have to, whatever they need to do, let them do. We just want to be at the World Cup. We should go.
Yeah, we're sure to go. That was a wonderful 90 minutes on the pitch, definitely. We talked extensively about a sport.
Yeah.
Okay, now we have to go. Join us tomorrow for another fresh edition of the Morning Spring, where we tell you most of the things happening around the country. My name is Tomilola Daniel. Enjoy the rest of your day.
And I'm Femi Ojo. You can have a recap of this program on our YouTube channel at Western Spring Television. Please follow, like, and share. We'll be back tomorrow, God willing. Have a great day.